MashaAllah, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah al-aliyyil azim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi wa kafa. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ibadihi allazina istafa. Amma ba'du. Farabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. Wahlul uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. وقل ربي أدخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا بسم الله وبالله وتوكلت على الله. In the name of Allah, the most compassionate, the most merciful. In verse number 124, we'll recite it from the beginning and then we will translate in the second half of it, which was left over for this session. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وإذ ابتلى إبراهيم ربه بكلمات فأتمهن قال إني جاعلك للناس إماما قال ومن ذريتي قال لا ينال عهدي الظالمين. Sadaqallahul Azim. This verse in itself have relation with the verses before, and it is also a complete verse and it has a complete message in it, and after being a complete in itself, it is related to some previous ayat which were saying that Allah was reminding Israelites that they were preferred in some aspect, as everybody is preferred in some aspect. They have been preferred in some aspect, and that was that they were addressed by Allah for His messages, and His book came to them first, and the messenger's line came in their nation, and they were bestowed by this blessing from Allah, that they were revealed the revelation of Allah to them and to their prophet, and the prophet raised from within their in, and that was what was preference of them, and they were thinking that this preference could help them in some way, so that they have achieved the higher level of nearness to Allah, and they are already appointed people and preferred one, or they have some kind of superiority or nearness to Allah. In this verse, Allah tells that even Ibrahim, the major or grand prophet, the one who have a high standard of nearness to Allah, is also not exempted from being tested or examined or put on trial to be tested, and then have some position in front of Allah or some place of nearness in the eyes of Allah. For this reason, the ayat is starting from وَإِذِ ابْتَلَى إِبْرَاهِيمَ رَبُّهُ, and remember that Ibrahim also was put on trial and he was examined. So nobody is exempted, and nobody should think that somebody will be exempted from being trialed or being examined. And of course, Allah is giving the result of the examination that He took from Ibrahim alayhi salam, and He said that فَأَتَمَّهُنَّ, he was successful in all that scrutiny processes that happened and that Allah did about Ibrahim. Then after those examining process, Allah gave him this position and said, Kala inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. O Ibrahim, I am to set you as an universal fact that you are Imam. You will be an Imam, or the one who is a model and uswa for everybody on earth, that they will follow you and they will take you as an example to follow, and you are a good model in the eyes of Allah, and you will be followed by people, and that is what Allah set it as a universal fact. Here Ibrahim alayhi salam comes and asks Allah a question. Since he was so much kind-hearted man that he was not thinking just about himself, but he was thinking all about mankind. As Allah said that he was so good man, and he was meek and halim, and he was so much merciful about man and mankind that he even sometime, as it is said in the Quran, that he sometimes quarreled with Allah. He disputed word by word to Allah, or he had his sentences that, oh Allah, why you are putting some people on punishment, and why you are sending some chastisement upon them. And this kind of heart Ibrahim had. So this man, because he is thinking about man and mankind, and he wants that everybody should be free from going to hell, and not to go to hell, but everybody should be successful in life, and be on the way of Allah, and to go to paradise. So he here asks Allah again here, because he talks to Allah and asks, Kalal wa min zuriyati, O Allah, what will happen to my zuriya, my children, my offspring? How about them? And what about from within them? Of course, Ibrahim was not somebody not having a good mind, or not having observation, or this kind of man. Just he knew that it is not possible for all of them, because so many people, they are not eligible to go to Jannah, but some of them, they are, and they have ability to pass these examinations and pass these tests of Allah, and reach that place where they can have good place to Allah, and good place of nearness to Allah. So he asks for some of them. He is not asking for all of them. Kala wa min zuriyati, O Allah, from within my seeds, my offspring, my descendant, whether some of them also will reach this place which I have reached them. Allah, instead of giving direct answer to him that whether what you are asking will be completed or not, will be there someone or not, letting him know only one principle, and this principle will determine that what will happen next. And that is Allah is saying that my ahad, that I don't contract, I don't want to have contract with somebody who is unjust. Unjust people will not have this right to be in my line or in my court, or I will not take somebody to my nearness, one who is unjust. And he gives this principle. Allah says, Kala, that Kala is for Allah, and Allah is saying, La yanalo ahadi az-zalimin. Those people who are zalim, who are unjust, they will not have any approach to my contract. They will not have any compact with me. I will not make any treaty with them, and they will not be allowed to enter to my court and be near to me, or have some place or some position of nearness to me. That will not happen for those who are unjust. Zalim means somebody who is unjust. Of course, here Allah is not mentioned to whom they are making this zulm, this unjust act, to whom it is made from them. That is not mentioned. In so many places, zalim is said there and used there, but the object is not mentioned in so many times. And on all these places where zalaman it is used, and or zalim is used as a doer of the zulm, the object is himself, means those people who are doing unjust act to themselves. Because when somebody goes on the wrong path, he is not harming anybody save himself. He harms or he hurts only and only himself. He is doing unjust act to himself. For this, Allah is not saying zalimin ala man. He is just saying those who are unjust. To whom they are unjust to themselves, because they are eventually the one who are hit by their unjust act. So Allah is saying that they who are not on Sirat al-Mustaqim, who are not following the guidance of Allah, they will not have this right to reach any position. Ahdi, when Allah said ahdi, means this ahd can be from the lower level up to the highest level. And Allah is denying all of them. He's saying, La yanalu, not any of them, any of those ahd which Allah makes with some human to set him as a imam, to set him as a messenger, to set him as a bringer of wahi, or any kind of the other responsibility. Allah will not give him any contract, and he will not have any position near Allah. And that is what Allah is saying in this verse. And in this way, this ahad is the same ahad which Allah is going to make it in the next ayah, which is mentioned there. And this ahad, how can these different ahads be? Ahad means some contract or some compact or a treaty or some bilateral setting that two parties or three parties that they make bilateral or trilateral or multiple way that they have. Maybe there are more than one, more than two people who are making some contract. Ahad, it is where there is some treaty, and Allah is telling that this ahad will not be allowed for those who are unjust. Inshallah, we'll continue next ayah in the next session. Wassalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah bless you all.